a writer called Peter Spence, and he said he had written a pilot for the Wireless, and could he send it to me? And I said yes, and the script came through, and it was called To the Manor Born.
She could see, when she did the radio pilot, that it would make good television.
Thank God that's over. I can't stand the offhand manner of these undertakers.
It was important for Penny to choose a character that could reap the rewards of the good life into a new series.
Are we out of sight?
Yes, I think so. Good, I can take this damn hat off. There's one thing guaranteed to make a widow feel grisly. It's having to face the immediate future through a veil.
I love the idea, in a rather macabre way, of a series starting with a woman throwing her hat in the air and saying, "Yippee!" at her husband's funeral.
Oh, I feel so much better now.
I would have thought her two television parts are equally striking. Her two early ones, The Manor Born and Margo in The Good Life. I thought there was a tremendous panache about The Manor Born and a certain pathos about it, too.
So, Grantley, you're mad.
The creditors are insisting on it.
Have they no sense of history? We've been here through wars, plagues, floods, famine, and Labour governments. Don't let a little thing like bankruptcy alter the natural course of events.
Audrey would fight for what she wanted and was very much queen of where she lived. Margo liked to think she was, but she was a bit of a parvenu. So for me, they were poles apart. I mean, they'd never be friends.
Heavens! This is an old school photograph, isn't it? Oh, yes. There's you! Oh,
One of the reasons why that relationship worked so well was because Penny and I had both been brought up and educated in a very similar way. We understood those women.
First floor, third window from the left. Oh, gosh, you can see absolutely everything. Yes, I know.
We understood that relationship of school camaraderie, which then goes on into adulthood.
Oh, it's a good job I can't lip read. Most satisfactory. I believe you planned this whole thing. What do you mean?
You're hoping Mr. DeVere will come to you and ask for help on bended knee.
Whatever for?
Because he won't be able to cope with the hunt ball. And you'll be able to show him the estate can't function without you.
Well, that's true enough. It can't.
Those can draw right across now.
Oh, lovely. We don't want people peering in. I do think privacy is very important.
The romance in To the Manor Born was, of course, integral. And it's always nice to see the girl get the boy in the way in which she wants to get him.
Au revoir.
Golly, what a man. Yes, isn't he?
Oh, you're not thinking of...
Why not?
You've just said the most terrible things about him.
Marjorie, you must learn not to confuse money with breeding. He's got the money, I've got the breeding. Wave your magic wand, fairy godmother.
Abracadabra. Oh, you look breathtaking.
Thank you.
Couldn't I turn into your Prince Charming?
Perhaps.
By the time the third series happened, there was pressure to go on. And I remember saying, no, I think we must make up our minds. They're either going to get together or they're going to split, because we can't go on teasing the audience too long. And so we had a lovely, happy ending.
After attaining record viewing figures for To the Manor Born, she continued appearing in the theatre, playing to packed houses and enjoying particular success with Noel Coward.
Think of the thrill of a first night. All those ardent playgoers willing one to succeed. The critics all leaning forward with glowing faces, receptive and exultant.
I did see Hay Fever, in which she was terrific, playing Judith Bliss. It was the occasion, apparently, when Princess Diana was talking to her afterwards, and she said, "Have you seen much Coward?" And Princess Diana said, "No, I haven't seen any Coward. It's the first Coward play I've ever seen." And Penelope said, "First play you've ever seen?" She said, "Well, I am only 21.
Sweet 16 was a deliberate choice to get away from her previous sitcom roles of Margo and Audrey. In it, she played a successful businesswoman of 41 who becomes involved with a much younger man.
I think Sweet 16 was a mistake. I think it was a mistake for two reasons. Firstly, it was ahead of its time. It was proper later on to have a look at the relationship between an older woman and a younger man in situation comedy. But at that time, people weren't quite ready for it.
I'm going to have a baby.
What do you want a baby for?
I don't. I mean, I didn't. Now I do.
That's about as clear as one of your memos. Don't, didn't, and do.
I won't be asking you to marry me, you know.
Oh, well, that's a great relief. I thought it was about to be your next...
There were headlines in the paper, Margo going to have illegitimate baby. So the BBC thought that was dreadful and dropped that fairly heavily.
When John Howard Davies moved to Thames, he offered her a new sitcom.
He asked me if I'd go and do a script called Executive Stress.
I want to pick up my career. I want to go back into publishing.
Darling, you are quaint. I must go, or I miss it. Don't forget to pick up my suit from the cleaners.
John asked Geoffrey Palmer if he'd be my husband. Then he couldn't do the second series, so I met up with yet another ex-lover, husband, whatever you like to call him, Peter Bowles.
Oh, come on. I should think you're thrilled. You've hated us working in the same company.
I've hated the secrecy.
Well, there won't be any more secrecy. I have resigned. We can tell everyone we're married.
No, no, that'll make me look very deceitful. I still have to work here, you know.
We hope when Peter Bowles joined us that it would recreate some of the magic of the Manor Born. I don't think it did because they were already married, and so the frisson of that early relationship wasn't present.
It's Jean Price, Labour, majority of 507.
Ah, just scraped in. Godfrey Egan, Conservative, majority 14,010 and a standing ovation. How do you do?
There was a concern when she played a Labour MP that people's perception would find it rather odd because of this English matron was always, obviously, a Conservative.
Let me get you a drink. Now, what would you like? What's a good socialist tipple? Oh, yes. What about some mild? That's good left-wing stuff?
Well, I really only drink beer in the evenings, actually. You know, when I put on my cloth cap and muffler and take my wickets home. I don't have political ambitions, but I'm at the stage now in my life when I am on committees. But I do have such admiration for my friend Glenda Jackson.
She's very good at making choices, and she chooses the right thing for her age, and she goes through her career being intelligent and perceptive about what she should play at what time. Obviously, sometimes she makes mistakes, but not often.
After Thames lost its franchise, she returned to the BBC to play a young grandmother in Next of Kin. It was a brave choice, bearing in mind the controversial subject matter.
It was a kind of déjà vu thing, because it started off in the first episode with someone dying.
Oh, this, and I'm sorry to break the news to you, but it's about your son.
Graham?
And your daughter-in-law.
Bootface.
I'm afraid there's been an accident.
From that very strong opening, the comedy grew, because you knew very early on, not only didn't she like her son that much.
What was he like?
Graham? Oh, I didn't know him very well.
But he was your son.
We didn't have much in common.
But you must have loved him. Didn't you?
I never even liked him very much. But it was mutual. Even when he was a baby, whenever anyone else held him, he just lay there calmly. When I picked him up, he howled the place down. I thought she was a very interesting character, this supremely selfish woman. By dint of circumstances, being landed in a position that I don't think many people would relish. The last thing she needed was the grandchildren.
It's not my birthday for another 4 months.
What?
I knew that.
Well, why did you write in your diary that it was?
To see if she was reading it.
You set a trap for me.
And you fell into it.
That was a fairly despicable thing to do.
And so is reading somebody else's diary.
Look, it's an awful shame to waste all this. Let's have some tea, shall we? Trifle, Georgia? I did get 1 or 2 letters from people saying that they didn't like it, but it did make people think.
She has played very strong women, mostly, I think, in her career, but she's always tried to find a soft side to them and has been rather good at that.
Penelope Keith is very much a leading actress. She's got stature, she's tall, she has an authoritative voice, she has command, and therefore she can't just play a little maid coming into the French windows anymore. She has to be the lady of the manor, as it were, which she's born to play.
When people used to say to me initially, are you really like Margot? I used to think, oh, no, me? I've got a wonderful sense of humour. No, I'm not a prude. No, I'm not a snob. Are you like Audrey? No, I haven't got a butler. No, I haven't got the money. I haven't got the Rolls Royce. I realise I take it now as a compliment, because if I have convinced people that I am the person who I am, then they're going to feel secure and sure enough that if they want to laugh, it's not offending me, it's not upsetting me, it's not stopping me as an actor from going on. So much as sniggers, I'm going straight back indoors. Gosh, I've had a very good life. I hope it's going to go on a bit longer.
You will always be my turtle dove. It's me for you, and you for me, collecting Social Security.